8:15 now, and energy prices here have fallen to their lowest level for 2 years. That's because the regulator OFGEM's latest price cap has come into force. The 12% reduction means a household using a typical amount of gas and electricity will pay roughly £20 less a month. Let's speak to Dale Vince, who's founder of the green energy company Ecotricity. Thanks for being with us this morning, Dale. Is this good news for households, do you think?
Yeah, it is. And you have to look at the wider context. Energy bills are still going to be 60% higher than they were a couple of years ago before the energy crisis. The government's done nothing to address the causes of that crisis, and energy bills will go up again at the back end of this year. We can see that coming. But in the meantime, it's a bit of relief.
How much of relief then do you think that is, given that it's a saving of about less than £20 a month, and given what you were saying about bills still being much higher than they were before the energy crisis?
Well, for some people, it's a lot. Energy bills have been very unaffordable. At the peak of the crisis, the lowest earning people in Britain were spending half of their disposable income just on their energy bills. And, that's crippling. So 100 quid a year, more or less, is going to be a big relief to a lot of people. But I say, bills are still 60% higher than they used to be. And that's an awful lot of money. A lot more than 100 quid is more like 600 quid. And they're going to go up again. And we haven't addressed the causes. This is the real problem. We are going to be on this roller coaster of energy prices until we fix that by becoming energy independent. We get ourselves off of fossil fuels, power ourselves entirely with our own renewable energy.
Do you think the price cap works?
Yes and no. It's been good and bad, and it's driven competition out of the market. Everybody sells the same thing for the same price. Everybody tries to buy it at the same price because OFGEM sets the cap according to future prices of energy. Everybody tries to align their hedging strategy with that. It's probably done more harm than good, I would say. The real cause of rising energy prices is that we allow global markets to set the price that we pay for our own North Sea oil and gas. And in the middle of the crisis, we paid 10 times more for North Sea gas than we needed to or we used to. That's what drove prices up. And we haven't addressed that. We have a price cap on retail energy, but not wholesale. So if we price cap the North Sea, for example, we could knock 300 quid off everybody's energy bill. And the second thing we have that's wrong is that we allow the price of gas to set the price of electricity. If we break that link, then we could knock another 300 quid off everybody's energy bill. These are kind of market mechanisms that don't make sense, that the Tories have put in place and maintain. And this is what's causing the super profits in the oil and gas companies, and then the need for a windfall tax.
Do you think those are the kind of changes that a future government might be receptive to introducing?
Well, I would hope so, because they're so straightforward and cost no money, cause no harm, and in combination can knock 600 quid off our energy bills. That alone would bring it back down to pre-crisis levels. And then we need to get on with building renewable energy because, there's no global market in that commodity. We've got enough of it in Britain to power ourselves 10 times over. We can create jobs here, set the price of our own energy, keep it super low, alleviate energy poverty, and have a massive economic boost. Every pound we spend on fossil fuels, for that money we can get twice as many jobs and twice the GDP growth if we spend it on renewable energy. And we need a government that does that gives us energy independence from our own green energy sources.
Also, Dale, we've had reports this week that something like 4 million energy smart meters weren't working properly at the end of 2023. What do you make of that?
Well, we were rushed into the smart meter program. Energy companies were, by the government, that set a deadline, irrespective of the availability of the technology. So the specifications for smart meters hadn't been finalized. The meters themselves that were available were only really doing half the job. They were kind of early versions, but the government wouldn't pause the program. And so we had a situation where we were all installing hundreds of thousands of meters that we knew were wrong uns, basically, and would have to be replaced or upgraded in some way. When the proper smart meters came along, we should have just waited. But there are fundamental issues with communications with smart meters. That's the problem. It'll take a little bit of time to fix it.
Okay, thank you very much.